Hello and welcome to Canada's Digital Farm Show. I'm Patrick Lynch and today we are at the Woodstock site where we are going to be demonstrating planting soybeans into corn stalks. First of all, I want to thank the companies that are demonstrating, John Deere, Kubota, Fendt, Concord, and HFL Fabricating for being part of this demonstration. You know, years ago, it was decided that Ontario should be growing more soybeans. And part of that decision was being fulfilled and brought out by farmers and industry and government people. And one of the first challenges we had those first years was getting the soybeans out of the ground. We planted probably 40 to 50% more seed than we ended up with plants. And even today, we are still planting 25 to 30% more seed than we are getting plants. So we plant seed and the plants just come up. We've thrown this challenge to these companies and they are showing us the various adaptations that they have done to their planters so that we don't have to plant 25 or 30% more seed. So you're going to see things like weight control, weight adjustment, down pressure control, folding on the go, just so many adaptations to our soybean planting system that have evolved over the last 5 to 10 years. So we hope you enjoy this demonstration. If you've got individual questions about individual machines, be sure to contact the equipment companies for more information. Thank you, and this has been Patrick Lynch from Canada's Digital Farm Show.
Hi, I'm Dave Peters, Product Specialist with AGCO, and I'm here to tell you about the Fendt Momentum Planter. We'll start up here with the hitch. We have 3 tongue options. This one is a high clearance hitch, which has the 2-point hitch, which you can lift yourself, and it also has the hitch lift you can do here. If you have a drawbar, you'll want this same hydraulic lift on your tongue, or you can just get a straight 2-point hitch on the tongue. Next, we're going to talk about our walking tandem. We have a 17-inch tall tire up front and a 22-inch tall tire at the back. There was room behind the frame, so we made that tire bigger. We moved the walking tandem center back a little bit so that 40% of the weight is carried up front, 60% of the weight is carried on the back. These are also at 120-inch centers, so they line up with your controlled traffic. We use VF tires, which are a high flex, and we either inflate or deflate them based on what we're doing. So as soon as you start to fold the planter for road traffic, it inflates them to 60 psi, and as soon as you begin to unfold the planter, it'll deflate them to around 17 psi, or the lowest rating of the tire. We also use the tire inflation in our load logic weight management system. Every wheel has a load cell for weighing the amount of weight put on each wheel, and we use this cylinder here to distribute the weight on the wings or in the center. That can all be controlled and monitored from in the cab. It can also be adjusted to put the majority of the weight on your controlled tappet tires and minimize the weight on the outside wing. Next, we'll talk about our vertical contouring toolbar. This allows us to move our row units up and down almost 60 inches. The way it works, back here we have delta downforce, and these parallel links will move up and down 16 inches. Up here we can also move the entire vertical contouring toolbar up and down 45 inches, a total of almost 60 inches. What we'll do is we'll move the contouring toolbar to a point where we average them all out. So some might be up and some might be down. And we can do that on 3 different sections across the back of the planter. You'll see there's a left wing, a center section, and a right wing, which can all independently move up and down almost 60 inches from each other. This unit is a 24 row 30-inch rows, so it's a 60-foot bar. That's the largest bar we offer at the moment, but we can decrease the spacing. We offer it in a 22-inch spacing, 20-inch spacing, and a 15-inch spacing. All of our Momentum planters have twin 65-bushel center fill tanks, and this one's equipped with a 1,000-gallon liquid fertilizer tank. Every Momentum planter has 3 sections, a center section and 2 wings. The wings fold in and vertically, so it's narrow enough for 12-foot transport. Our frame is controlled through an onboard ECU and ISOBUS display in the cab. All the hydraulics are run through Power Beyond, and you can control everything from your screen. You can fold it, you can increase or decrease your tire pressure, You can check your center fill fans or your vacuum. You can check your load logic system and make adjustments. It also shows your bin level and your liquid tank level capacities. This planter is also equipped with precision planting row units. They have V-set, V-drive, speed tubes. This one is equipped with clean sweep and also delta downforce, which everything is controlled and monitored through your Precision Planting 2020 monitor in the cab.
Hi, I'm Kevin PARDY, service technician with Huron Tractor in Tempsford. Behind me we have a John Deere 1745 spin and turn planter. The spin and turn actually is beneficial for narrow transport. So you can have this configuration is an 8-row corn planting machine, but can be converted to a 15-row soybean 15-inch planting machine. This one has 3 bushel hoppers. It is available with CCS with mini hopper delivery. Also compatible with dry fertilizer with 3 bushel hoppers. Liquid is an option on this machine. As far as the monitoring system goes, this one has CSTAR XP, which is ISO compatible right to the monitor inside the tractor. Single disc openers for the dry fertilizer, no-till openers on the row units, different configurations available for the no-till coulters. This machine has markers as an option. The reason for that is this is capable of going on older machines with less hydraulic or electrical capabilities.
The small hydraulic and electrical requirements allows it basically to be pulling anything. A CT350 monitor, if it's equipped with that monitor, anything with a 12-volt circuit with enough horsepower can pull that planter. It would require about 140 horsepower to run the planter equipped with dry fertilizer and vacuum meter.
This machine is equipped with active air downforce with the smaller compressor in the front of the unit. With the tank back here, you're able to dial in your down pressure and it will change on the fly. This is the airbag, which controls your downforce. When coupled with the air compressor and the onboard air tank, has the ability to adjust the downforce on the fly from the cab. This machine is equipped with cast closing wheels for heavier no-till application, also available with rubber. It is the same opener as on all John Deere's other machines, double disc opener with rubber gauge wheels. This one is a ground-driven unit with chain drive to the units, also available in Pro Drive for section command. This machine here is a ground drive seed transmission. Will also be available with a VRD, a variable rate drive, as a hydraulic-driven machine. This machine has 3 bushel hoppers, so the seed goes into your hoppers with dry fertilizer capabilities only with the 3 bushel hoppers. This machine is also available with CCS, Central Commodity System, where the seed is located in a central fill area and is delivered by air to the individual mini hoppers.
Row command and section control allows the planter to use GPS to record where the planter has planted. And if a row goes back over a planted area, it will not plant that area again, just to keep the amount of overlap down to a minimum.
We're finding more farmers are demanding dry fertilizer in their machines. This machine is equipped with dry fertilizer and has the capability of narrow transport. Other machines on the market with dry fertilizer still stay at that 20-foot mark with an 8-row planter during transport. This machine has the capabilities of spinning and turning up in the air for narrow transport. The big cylinder in the middle allows the planter to go up in the air and to spin to keep our transport width down just over 12 feet.
Hi, I'm Wayne Graham. I'm president and partial owner of Leading Edge Equipment near Woodstock here. What we've got here today is the Amity Concord NT30 drill. It is basically a 30-foot machine. in 3 10-foot sections. We have section control on this machine, so we can turn off one side if we need to, or the middle or the other side. As we go around curves, we have GPS compensation meters here that basically allow the side that goes faster to drop more seeds. The other side will slow down. These discs are a single disc opener with no gauge wheel at the side. The key thing that we like about that is there's no hairpinning of the stalks under the blade, and the row spacing equals a 7-inch row spacing, even though it's a paired 6 and a 9-inch space between them. Each of these openers is closed by a press wheel. This one press wheel closes 2 openings. The speed at which this is meant to go is 7 to 10 miles an hour. And as you can see, the wheels are on a little bit of a canter, and that's to help keep them clean in wetter conditions, but also better closing on the trench. The bearings are common between the openers and the wheel, and it basically allows you to only stock one part to cover the whole machine. The grease period is once a year or once every 8,000 acres, and you just pack them with grease, and they will last the year. This machine could also plant rows, and we can put in a fertilizer mid-row bander that bolts right in here. Our depth control is achieved by the height of this bar, and basically if you lift this front beam up and put locking cylinder collars in, for every 1 inch you move this bar up, you'll move that a 1/4 inch. Basically the tank itself is 105 bushel on one side. It's a split tank. The other side has 70 bushel, and they're split tanks, so you can put fertilizer on one side, you can put seed on the other side, or seed on both sides, different varieties. And it's scale ready. It has the weigh bars can be put right in place of these solid bars, and so we can have scales on it. The metering rules, there's a set of 3 for the front tank, a set of 3 for the back tank. Each opener will be fed by one cup, so each row has individual meter feeding it. As you can see, a ladder to get up on top. Tongue weight is pretty good for a tractor. You need something probably at least 230 horse to actually run this and have enough oil capacity to run the fan. Down pressure is maintained hydraulically. For every 4 openers, there's a cylinder exerting down pressure. They're tied together, so if one side lifts, it puts that much more pressure on the rest. This allows us in tough conditions to put more ground pressure, and in lighter conditions to lift a bit and carry on the wheels. As far as the opener goes, it's a unique opener. It basically lifts the dirt as it turns, and without that press wheel or guide wheel beside it, we like speed so that the dirt actually comes up and hits the wheel and then is closed back on the trench. Since it's such a wide and tall wheel, we don't get the bouncing in rough field conditions. One other thing I might mention is the wireless blockage monitors. This machine has a wireless blockage monitor on each run. So as soon as the flow slows down, you'll know in the cab buy an iPad that shows up each row and tells you whether it's planting. That's a feature that some of the competition don't have, and we're pretty proud of it. It comes from Ag Intelligence, and it's a great way to monitor.
Hello, I'm Rick HENDRIKX from HFL Fabricating, manufacturer of our TK7600 series row unit, which is attached to our seed drill frame. So we have coulter-specific depth control as the coulter's attached right to the unit. Another one of the features is the fact that the seed tube is shooting to the center of the disc, giving you mechanical separation, giving you a more accurate seed depth at all times, not allowing for any seed dirt falling back on top by the time it clears the seed disc. Our easily adjustable down pressure. We have up to 750 pounds of down pressure in 9 easy settings. The settings are extremely easy to move and quick. Another key ingredient to this is the fact that we have our gauge wheel and press wheel all in one. It's in the back of the unit. When running through corn stalks, sometimes when you put the gauge wheel on the sides of the unit, they tend to bounce over the corn stalks. In here, we're clearing our ground before, and we're coming through, and we don't have to deal with the bouncing up and down of the corn stalks and the bumps that it creates from just having root balls get in underneath the gauge wheel. Also, with the gauge wheel and press wheel in one, we can fine-tune our row unit pressure by looking at the seed. So when you dig the seed, you can tell whether it's too tight or it's not tight enough, and you can get your an accurate idea of how tight to set the down pressure on the unit itself. It makes it so that you don't need to have a hydraulic down pressure system if you're willing to get out and have a look and see what's going on with your seed. I'll talk a little bit about calibration. We were just surprised at how easy it is to calibrate. What we do basically is take that wheel and rotate it one turn and count the seeds coming out of each pocket and count them, and it gives you your seed count very quickly. One of the other things with the frame, it allows us to jack half the rows up and plant soybeans at 15-inch, then bring the rows back down and plant 7.5-inch wheat. We can plant 7.5-inch beans as well. What we've done this year is actually plant twin 22.5, and we've also in the past planted twin 30-inch rows with the same machine. So our frame is very versatile as far as what row width a person wants to use, and then again go back to 7.5-inch rows in the wheat and be able to plant with the same machine. The ability for us to plant beans and corn at the same time is one of the reasons why we believe that a seed drill should be used to plant the soybeans. So that's what our preference is, so that we can take 6 months to change from soybeans to wheat, and then another 6 months to change from wheat into soybeans. Another key feature to the frame is the fact that we've got a very large bin on our seed drill. Our seed drill holds, this is a 15-foot, it holds 5.5 bushels per foot, and this particular 15-foot will hold over 80 bushels of seed. Our 30-foot is up to 165 bushels of seed, which is very similar to an air cart. Without all the hydraulics and electronics that are necessary, it keeps it simple. Many frame adjustments on this particular planter. We've got an ability to rotate the frame up and down to set the coulter depth instead of setting each individual coulter. So this particular piece right here is where we adjust that in the frame. The frame is a very sturdy, heavy frame. It is a solid frame, even a 30-foot. We have only one coil spring versus some other companies having 2, 3, or 4. The longer the rod on that spring, the more stretch you get, and the longer stretch you get at a more even down pressure. One of the things that makes this thing pull a little easier is the fact that our seed tube is sitting in front of the bearing, and because of that, the seed falls to the depth of the seed discs, and our seed discs actually don't need to go in the ground as deep as some of the other models out there. In the back here we have our depth control, which is a very easy to set. Just cog like most other machines have it, so it's very easy to understand and simple to use. Each setting sets it to a 1/4 inch of depth difference. This is a Canadian-made piece of machinery. This particular unit is a 2013 model, so it's got some age on it, but it is our demo unit. It's the one we've run for several years to take out to places. So it's been through the rigors of every different type of soil type. We've done many trials with many acres.
Hello, my name is Nick Beard, Field Product Specialist for Kubota Canada for Western Ontario. And today we're going to go over the few feature benefits of this YP625A 12TR twin row planter. If you look right here, here's the simplicity of changing the depth. It's just a matter of pulling this knob up and changing the holes. Changing the closing wheels, it's simple, just by pulling the lever and changing the slots, as well as changing your down pressure on your row units. You just take this wrench and put it on here. Simple, easy adjustments. Taking the seed plates off for doing plot work and such is real simple. Taking the cover off, turning this knob and removing the seed plate. You'll notice our covers has the bee-friendly it's actually patented bee-friendly. What it does is it allows for the insecticide that's blown into the air is actually forced down into the seed tubes and put in the ground, saving our bees. Here's the adjustment for your seed pool. It just leaves a bigger pool for your seed plates. Different crop types require different seed pool. Very simple to open the lid to fill seed. It's got a nice shock absorber. You don't have to throw your lids to the side. Here's the gauge for the seed hoppers. There's a halfway mark as well as 1/4 and 3/4 full. Here's the drive wheel for the metering the seed and as well as the fertilizer. You'll notice it's not attached to the wheels, so it's a lot more robust, simpler design. Simplicity of your drive system to change your populations. It's just a matter of changing sprockets. These planters are equipped with dry fertilizer from factory. You'll notice there's no augers that you have to mess with on this planter. It's all Gandy wheels. It's much better system that way. This machine comes with a PM300 monitor from Dickie John. Very simple, easy to use monitor. You'll notice there's no PTO pump on this planter. That's because it's super low hydraulic requirements on the hydraulic side. So what huge benefit.
So the major benefits of planting soybeans twin row is you've got more spacing in between the rows versus say your 15s or 7.5 inch, so that you can are available to drive your sprayer down the rows without tramping as much crop. Also, in a no-till situation, you're able to plant in between the corn trash and not disturb the root balls, as well as get better seed to soil contact. Great Plains uses a positive air pressure system, as well as specifically designed seed plates that they've engineered in their seed labs, so that singulates the seed very effectively, as well as corn. So you can actually index the corn so that they're staggered, the seeds are staggered. We have a dual lock rolling firmer as well as a Keaton. This unit in particular has Keaton seed firmers. It's available with a pop-up fertilizer tube as well. The trench closers are just the the dual tapered rubber closers on this particular planter. It works as a V pattern, so it brings the dirt in a little more than your standard closing wheel. You can get 1.5 bushel or 3 bushel hoppers. Typically on these twin row, you go with the smaller hoppers because the row units are closer together. It's not really available to accomplish that. So you can get seed tanks as well. This is not a high-speed planter, so top speed you're looking at 5.5 miles an hour. So this is an easy planter, simple, and it gets the job done, and it's reliable. I own one personally, and I stand up for it.